Saludos, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of our Bella interview podcast. We're so excited to have you here. We have Tara and Marlene Herrera, who are the owners, the co-founders, the boss women of Little Lady B. So let's give them a round of applause. Welcome, ladies.
Well, thank you, Rocio, for that lovely introduction.
We're super excited to be here. Like, you don't understand, Rocio.
The level of excitement that we're here sitting across from you, like ready to share our story. So thank you for making the time just to sit with us, Rocio.
And making it possible. This is our first podcast, so we're beyond excited, Rocio.
Well, I love it. And I'm so glad you're here to so willingly and open to share your story. And I think it's one that everyone needs to hear, that you deserve to tell. And so I want to just jump right in to get to know you a little more, to get to know your business a little bit more. So let's start off with just tell us all and all our listeners a little bit about you. So tell us about who you are as humans, as women, as emprendedoras, and then we'll learn a little bit more about Little Lady B after that.
Okay. Do you want
to? So we're sisters. And for those who are wondering, we're twin sisters.
Yeah,
we're not identical.
We're not identical. Yeah, we get that all the time. Like, you guys are identical. It's like, no, we're not. But maybe, you know what? We should get, I always tell when we should get like blood tested. They told us that way you can really know if you're identical or not.
But we have different faces, so why would we go through all that hassle, Rocio? But we have different faces. We don't even look alike.
Well, yes, so we don't look alike. That's another thing.
But who we are as human beings, I want to say kind human beings. I want to be, what else? Kind, honest, hardworking women.
Yes, we're very much into clean food products, working out, and all of that.
Holistic.
Yes. We believe in all those stuff.
Well, that's good. I mean, I think sometimes it's hard to keep up with all of that. And so if that's like something you value and something that represents who you are, I think that's a beautiful thing and an inspiration too to other mujeres to also follow suit to how you lead your lives. So thank you for sharing that. I love that you start with those qualities because I think sometimes when we ask ourselves or someone asks us like who we are, we automatically go to like what we do.
Exactly.
Like, this is my job or this is my business, right? And that's why we want to take a little step back and like, no, tell us about you. Like, how do you see yourself? Like, who are you? So I think that's beautiful. And I know that also kind of goes into what you do for your business, right? So I want to learn a little bit more about Little Lady B and tell us a little bit about your business. Like, what do you do? Is it a product? Is it a service? What exactly is your business?
So Little Lady B is a little girl's clothing and accessory brand that we design and manufacture here in the USA.
With sustainability in mind, because we know that the fashion industry is very wasteful and it's one of the reasons why our planet is being harmed. So we took into account that if we were going to create a line, and first of all, we need to back up a little bit, Asil. We created the line after my brother had our beautiful niece, and she was very particular of what she allowed us to put her, like garment wise. And we thought, why is she being so difficult? Why is she being so particular? And then we started analyzing her clothing, and we realized that the clothing that they were putting on her, most of it is synthetic garments, so not natural fibers. So she was getting irritated in her skin, and she was just voicing it out, and was not being difficult. So we decided to look further, and we couldn't find like natural fibers that were designed for children. And we were like thinking, why is it not possible that they're not caring of what we're putting on children's skin in the first place, but we're so concerned what they eat. And your liver kind of like processes, but the skin has no process of what you put, it automatically absorbs. And we're like, we need to change that. And that's why we developed Little Lady B, which is a clothing brand that is used with nothing but natural fibers for sensitive skin, or if they don't have sensitive skin, it's just clean.
Yes, we use 100% cotton. And like Marlene was saying, the skin absorbs everything. And not a lot of people know that. Like whatever you put, it will take it in. If you wear polyester, it releases plastic, you know, even when you wash it, it releases it. And like she was not being difficult, it just she had like a sensibility for it. So we were like, oh, this is an idea. Like, why isn't it out there? Or if it is out there, it was very expensive and not accessible for
our community,
to be honest. So that's where the idea started, Rocio.
Wow, that is so thoughtful. And you're right. I mean, I think like it's not something that I think about on the day to day or have thought about, but when you're explaining it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just about what we put in our bodies, but it's what we put on our bodies.
Yes.
And I think that's done with such intentionality and such thoughtfulness, especially the fact that it's also sustainable wear, right? And so I think that's really amazing. And I know your business is going to keep blooming.
Oh, thank you. Thank you from your lips to God's ears.
But so I want to take a little step back because you mentioned your niece, you mentioned your brother. And I think it's important that we get a little bit of insight into you all kind of growing up, you know, as kids yourselves, right? As kids yourselves into, you know, teenagehood and adulthood. And so kind of take us a little bit like a few years back and kind of walk us through like your childhood, how you grew up and your background.
Okay. Oh, that's a good question. No one had asked us ever about our childhood. I think when we were children, we were painfully shy, to be honest. We would be like those perfect students, those perfect kids, but we would not speak a single word. Like we were like mute the whole time, right, Marlene?
Yeah, I think always the feedback out, like they're really good at school, but if they would just talk, then maybe we can know what's going on. But we come from immigrant parents, Rocio, like we always saw them work. So school and being educated was like a way for us to get out of a working kind of situation, of like a struggling kind of position.
So I think there was no option for us. They were like, you're going to a university and you're gonna graduate. That was the only option.
And I think we fed into that idea. Like that is the road we're taking. There's nothing else, because we would see how difficult our parents,
both of them worked. Like they worked long days, weekends, everything.
But I was like, we always grew around the fashion industry because both of them know how to sew, Rocio. So we knew what working inside a garment factory was really about, and we saw like what it entailed. I mean, fast forward, we didn't really change much because we're still working in the fashion industry.
But to be honest, we were not going to be fashion majors. We always left the creative part. Like my mom would always let us be creative. So I remember Santa brought us one Barbie for 1 year, Rocio, and we would dress up with her. Like, and we would create little garments for her, but we never thought we were going to be designers, to be honest. We went to school to be Chicano Latino majors with a minor in women's studies. And we were about to graduate. And a friend of ours was like, do you want to take a course in the fashion industry? And we're like, oh, sure. We're just probably going to look at magazines and read about fashion and just talk about pretty clothes. Oh my God. It really changed our lives, because as soon as we got there, they told us, you're going to have to learn how to sew. And again, my mom, our whole life was like, you guys should just learn how to sew. We're like, no, Mom, we're not going to do this.
It's hard labor. It's absolutely
not for us. So we didn't learn how to sew. And when we got to that course, they were like, you're going to learn how to sew. And we're like, oh my God, what did we get ourselves into? We're like freaking out.
But you know, when you like just find and go there and you're like, oh my God, this feels like home. Like this is where I'm supposed to be. And I think that's when we decided to take the path into double major in fashion and merchandise.
Yeah, so we had a petition to like the university to please let us change our major, please, because again, we were about to graduate. And we're like, oh my God, if they don't allow us, we're gonna graduate, we're gonna be miserable. We're not gonna be doing what we want to do. But luckily everything worked out, and I guess we were meant to be there because it was like, it felt like home. Marlene said it. Like it was like, I finally belong here with these people. Yeah, but that was our journey. Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, sometimes things happen in our lives and cross our paths, and we either initially think we don't want to or we don't want it to, and then we realize like this is what was meant to happen. This is a gift. This is my path, right? My purpose. So that is so amazing that you're saying that. Did you ever think about like being a business owner or an entrepreneur when you were like looking back when you were young? Did you see like yourself kind of with that entrepreneurial spirit, or was it something that came a little later, like into adulthood?
To be honest, I don't think we had it. I mean, I know my mom was like always working, so we always saw her like be a breadwinner, but never in our million thoughts we were like, we're gonna be business women. Absolutely not, because I think we were more in the creative field. Like she would allow us to just explore our creativity, to develop whatever we wanted. And to be honest, we didn't even know that being a fashion designer was even a possibility. We just saw
the other
like
side.
Our community were the people that produce the garments, not to hold another position. Yes.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Yeah. And so you design the clothes as well. You design and you make the clothes as well.
Correct. Yeah, we designed the patterns and then we cut. And so the three of us with my mom, we should mention that. Yes.
That's amazing. I did not know that. I'm learning something new about you all and your business. That's really beautiful. And so I know you touched on your niece and kind of how that unfolded in terms of what the business is today. But can you share a little bit more about that? How that concept got started and who or what inspired you to start the actual business? Because it's one thing to right kind of like think about it or say one day I'm going to do it, and there's another thing to actually take the leap and be like, I'm doing this now. So where did that inspiration come from, and how did you come up with the concept of the business itself?
I think I'll take credit. I think we were just I'll take credit because we used to design for women.
That's how we started originally. Yeah. When we graduated, we started with women's wear.
Women's wear. But then we realized that with women, we're more like, oh, we need to cover this, or like don't show this. So it was a little bit more difficult. And I think we started designing garments for Brianna, and we saw that her personality was changed. Like, when you're as a grown woman, you put something and you feel confident, like you feel like you could take over the world. We started seeing that with Brianna. So I told Tara, why don't we start maybe designing dresses with the concept of being natural, clean garments, and hopefully translate that feeling women have for little girls. Because if we start them young, if we start them with confidence, with self-worth, they will grow up to be the women of their dreams. And that's what we aspire to do with our designs. And after that, I think Tara started like Googling names.
Well, we
started like,
we were like, okay, we have this idea, but then what are we gonna name the company? I'm like, what do we name it? And then we used to call her Little Lady because we took care of her until she went to kindergarten. We had her since she was a baby, again, so we did the potty training, the feeding, all of that.
Wow.
Yeah, so we knew how it worked. We were like, Little Lady. And then we're like, well, how about Little Lady B in honor of Rihanna? Like, and then we ran it to a couple people. They're like, that actually sounds really good. So I Googled, like, is this taken? Once I figured out it wasn't taken, we're like, okay, let's do the registration. Let's do all this process.
The domain for the website,
the Instagram, the socials, all of that. And let's see how
I think we were naive, Rocio, and we just jumped. We're like, we have an idea, let's go for it. Like, let's just go out there, because there was no garments that were like right price for what we wanted to offer, like our community. Right?
Yes.
Like, because when we think of certain types of attire, it's not affordable for our community. And we also want to feel good. We also want to feel confident. So that's where I think the idea came from. Yes.
Wow. And so so do you feel like it was kind of just like you just started going? Like, did you sit
Yes.
down and think like, okay, you were gonna kind of do this first or do this, or did you kind of just take something that you knew and you were like, we're gonna do this and now we're gonna do that? And did you feel like it just kind of like rolled naturally in terms of how you put yourself out there? Because I'm curious too if you like was it a like how did you promote, right? Like did you start with a social media account or did you do like a pop-up or sell to family or like what was your initial like step for that, like to let the world know that you were there?
And so initially we started online and we thought magically we're gonna explode and the sales are just gonna
naturally flow in,
and they're
gonna be super busy 100%. And we were just gonna be fulfilling, but we didn't see that. I was like, luckily at the time, I think we had connections or friends that had little girls, so they got to experience the garments and they gave us feedback that it was really good designs, that it was good quality. So it just kept going, but we didn't see enough growth or sales that we're like, okay, we need to do events to get brand awareness. Yes. And last year we were all over the place with different cultural backgrounds, and it gave us like a reassurance that it doesn't matter who you are, little girls love the product. And not little girls, I think women too. Like it reminds them of their childhood when they used to wear their puffy little dresses.
Yeah.
And did you find, because here it's like it's a partnership, right? So you are supporting each other. And did you feel like that helped you along the way in kind of in your journey? Like, right, like having someone that was by your side to do this. I'm curious about like the level of support you each felt with each other, but also like maybe like what like some fears too that you felt. And I'm kind of getting into one of the other questions that I was going to ask, but like what were those initial, if any, maybe there wasn't any, right? Maybe you were like, no, we're doing this and we're feeling really good about it. But I'm curious about the support system, right, that you have with each other or that you got from other folks, because you mentioned like your family too. Family.
I think when we started, I think we're very much like once we get each other pumped, we're doing it. There's no turning back. We're jumping and we'll figure it out. We'll either sink or swim.
But I always go like we're more like the yin to the yang.
Yes.
If we're honest, sometimes we could be like we don't see eye to eye. Sometimes we'll argue, but at the end of the day, I think we have a vision and we just want to get to point A or B. So we'll do anything in our power. Yeah,
I think we're stubborn, to be honest. We're very stubborn. Once we get something stuck in our head,
it's like we're going for it.
We're going and there's no stopping us. Like we'll figure it out and some way or another, but we're getting there.
And I think luckily my mom has been very, very supportive of our decisions, whether if it's coming up with the crazy idea like starting a business with no roadmap, no guidelines, just jumping in. So having her support and other family members has been very, very helpful.
I think it has been very like
a blessing.
A blessing, yeah. Because I think without my mom, even when we were gonna switch majors, she was the first person we talked to, and she told us, "Are you sure? 100% sure, because this industry
it's not easy.
It's not easy, and it's one of the hardest industries." So she was like, "Think about it." We're like, "Yes, we're sure. This is what we love." Like we joke, this is like our husband. Like we love that much that we don't see ourselves without it.
or like us ever really working.
Yes.
We're just creating. Like Rocio, and if anyone that just loves the product or likes it, we're just grateful because there are ideas in our creations. Yes.
Yeah, no, I love that, and I think it's important to have a support system, whether it be like you two as partners or in this business, or whether and or it be family or friends, or it's important to have someone in your corner, even if you fight with them and argue with them, right? At the end of the day, you have the same goals. You want to elevate your business, you want to help people feel good and the little girls in their clothing, right? Like I think you share the right goals and they're similar goals. How you get there sometimes, yeah, that could be a push pull, right? For anybody. Even within ourselves, sometimes there's a struggle, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna do this. No, I'm not gonna do that. Oh, I want to do that, but I'm not gonna do this, right? So I think the fact that you have each other and it sounds like you have a really good support system is really important, and it's going to get you through those times that maybe are challenging for you, right?
Yeah.
So speaking to that, like what would you say is your business like purpose or your mission? So if you have to like dig deep, and I've heard it sprinkled throughout already the conversation, but like if you were to say like, this is why we do this, this is the true core, the purpose and the mission of Little Lady B in our business, what would that be?
Do you want?
I think, well, speak for me, and then but we could combine. We want little girls to feel confident, Rocio. We want them to show up and feel like I could take up space. It's okay. I could be this little person and hopefully one day grow up to be the woman that are unstoppable. That one day is gonna break the glass ceiling, Rocio, for all of us, and be like, if I want to be the president, I'm gonna be the president. But it starts, I think, very little, and clothing is like your armor, like, ooh, like I'm here,
of the world. Like
I can shine, and it's okay for me to shine bright, and like, who cares?
I think I agree with Tara, coming from like being painfully shy, Rocio. Like we wouldn't even have a voice. And for little girls that put on our garments and you can see it reflected, like they smile, they troll, and they speak up. Even the shy ones, you just see
Oh.
that is why we do it, because I want those little girls to be able to show up for themselves. If you just put on something, it could be so silly, a dress, but if you feel unstoppable, then we are doing our purpose. We are doing our mission. Because I still have faith that in my lifetime, it's going to be a female president.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Let's put that into the
Yes,
world.
I'm like,
Sure.
I think
Yeah.
feminist background always is like, we're always rooting for that. So I think we design with that intention and that in mind all the time. And like when you would say, like when little girls put the dresses, we have mirrors and they see themselves as like they're seeing themselves for the first time, like really seeing themselves for the first time. So it's just so beautiful to see, like to witness that. It's like, that's why we do it, Rocio.
I love it. I love that there's a deeper purpose to what you do. And so it's definitely like I see there's this like social kind of impact, like purpose, right, that you have, and that goes beyond the telas and the actual, clothing. It's like that feeling, that confidence that you instill in young girls, and that's you can't take, like my mom would always say about like your pride and your all of that, right? Like nadie te lo quita. You have that inside. No one could take that away from you, right? And so I think if you're helping young girls develop that, and you're right, early, it's so important early, especially in this social media era and technology that we are in, right? We see so much challenges for little girls particularly. So I love that you're addressing that in your creative way, where your talents are coming out and you're shining through that too. And I know people see that and they feel it. So when you're talking about your business, I'm like, I want a little girl now. I want to be a little girl so I can buy the right.
We could design, we should also say this, we could design up to any age, or like we cut it off, we start from 0 to 12. No, sorry, 0 to 10. But if people want bigger size, we always decide. But it's just getting the little girl to agree to that.
Yes, no. I'm sure that's part of the equation. But so so let's talk a little bit about some of the challenges that you all have faced as you build your business, as you're building your business, right? Whether they be personal challenges you've gone through and or more, business specific related challenges. But can you share a couple of those that you feel comfortable sharing? And kind of like how did you overcome or how did you work through them or how are you working through them? If maybe it's something you're going through right now.
I think we'll start with the personal one, Rocio.
To be completely honest, because I want this to be an honest conversation, that it's not a beautiful bed of roses. It's not.
Yeah.
For us, I think it was really knocking down those limiting beliefs that we were not good enough and therefore our product was not
And not
good enough.
worthy enough,
Yes.
right? Because we
Mm,
were Latina women
mm,
entering the fashion industry, that if you really explore, the main designers are still men, white
mm,
men. You don't see minorities as a representation, and yet again, not even women designing for other women. So we were like, that was the challenge for us to even to dare to take space, dare to have a viewpoint of designing, Rocio, and to be like, this could be
Something, it matters. Like,
it matters. My
yes.
perspective of creativity, my voice matters. And just believing enough, because it was challenging. We thought like, okay, we're designing who is gonna want this. Who really, maybe we thought maybe just our Hispanic community would want this. And it
mm,
took us last year, again, being from all kinds of communities, Rocio, to get the feedback that it doesn't matter the race, it doesn't matter the gender, because men have stepped into our booth and get the feedback that it's just beautiful. It's beautiful for little girls.
They genuinely love the product and be like, and get our information because they want to share it with their spouse or
with
someone
a
else,
sibling.
or they sometimes buy the garments themselves to gift them to other
Yeah.
people. So that to us was like, you know what, what we're doing does matter. We're doing it and we have a voice, and it's okay for us to have a place in here.
And dare
Yes,
to take
take
space. And with that, I think with our limited beliefs came like access to capital. Rocio, you don't even know where to go, because it's like, if you're limiting or you're doubting who you are, like you don't even dare to
ask.
or
Just simply ask
or
for
to
help.
find resources, how you can expand your business.
Mm.
So that has been a challenge that we're still like knocking, and
Yeah,
we're
and
still
navigating through, to be
Yes.
honest, Rocio, because we do want to grow the business. And I have always said, and I think Marlene's on the same, we want this to be a lifestyle, not just a brand, but a lifestyle that continues way beyond us. And hopefully our niece or nephew one day want to take over. But yeah, that would be the big dream. Yeah, Rocio.
Yeah, and I mean I love that you're being so vulnerable about the limiting beliefs because I feel like all of us have those, yet we don't always know what it is. Like we can't call it by name, right? Because we don't know. Like we think a certain way or we feel a certain way, but we don't necessarily call them limiting beliefs. We just say this is how I am or this is what my future is going to be like. Right? We kind of accept those
Mhm.
limiting beliefs to be normal and to be like okay with that. And so I think the fact that you're super aware of the fact that you have limiting beliefs, like all of us, have them, is already a huge step towards building that confidence and that, which ultimately is going to get you to achieve the goals that you want, right? And it doesn't happen overnight, as they say, success
That's
is
it.
a lot of hard work. And so thank you for sharing that struggle because I feel like that is real. And the access to capital, one is one we always hear. I feel like that's like 90% of the time. That's when it comes to the business itself, like that's what we hear, right? Because you need funds to be able to invest in your business so that you could produce
Correct.
more products or services depending on your business. So, yeah, those are very real challenges. Thank you for sharing them. I know a lot of women out there can relate. So, if you're listening to all this, ladies out there and gentlemen, maybe too, you're not alone. They're beautiful, wonderful emprendedoras like these young ladies in front of me that are experiencing that too. And so, I think we have to like try our best to embrace it, right? And as part of the journey. So, um, so I want to, I don't want to end on like challenges and struggles. I want to kind of add or ask, and you kind of started to talk about it right now, is like, what's your vision for the future of Little Lady B? Like, where do you see yourself in 5, 10 years with this business? What would you like it to be?
I would want it to grow into something bigger, Rocio, where we just don't offer clothing and accessories and jewelry, but we offer more to other genders, maybe to moms. Maybe we offer clean products. Again, more of a lifestyle
Mhm.
brand where you could shop in one place and know that your products are clean and safe for you to use.
I think for me, Rocio, I want to say to feel more supported that we could employ other women or even other men, that we could be that possibility of resource for someone so they could become financially independent or invest in themselves, just to have maybe our own here a factory like our parents did, to honor that full circle of just expanding the brand and just see where it leads.
And I
right?
think that's why we have been very conscious of making everything here in the US, because we did see my mom and dad work in factories and what that entailed. And yes, a lot of people tell us, oh, if you do it overseas, it's a lot cheaper. 100%, it's a lot cheaper. But what kind of quality of life are those people having that your clothes are so cheap?
Yes.
So we don't want to do that. We want to have like jobs here. We want them to have
Pay
fair wages where you
yes.
can survive and your
you feel
family.
like honor of what you're doing. You're not just the garments or like you're more than that. You're helping grow a business,
A dream,
yes.
yes.
And you're part of that dream. So that's
Wow.
what we would want, Rocio.
I love that. It's like you want to welcome everybody into this ecosystem of like more than the business itself. It's
Yeah.
like this is what you're doing for community. This is what you're
Yes.
doing to help little girls grow into strong, confident women. I love that connection. I think it's important that you're sharing that because um, I think it's easy to desynthesize sometimes from businesses or even what we're doing ourselves. Sometimes we're going through the motions, right?
Yeah.
And we're like, wait a minute. Sometimes I gotta stop and like, why am I doing this again? Like, what's my why? Like they say, right? I know
Yeah.
you hear that a lot. Like, what's my why? Because it's gonna keep you motivated too,
Yes.
But in addition to that, I think sharing that story is people want to support that. Like the clothes is beautiful, the design is beautiful, but it's so much more of a connection if I know the purpose and the why to your business. It makes me want to support you even more. I want to go buy clothes and I'll just have it here ready to gift for whenever. And so yeah, so I think it's a what do they call it? Like a multiplying factor, like a multiplier, right? It has like a domino effect. So I love the vision. I love the goals you all have. And so now the time has come for the question on what advice or
Mm.
tips would you give other Latina women who are either starting out or thinking about starting their business?
I would say if you're thinking about it, don't think about it too much, Rocio. Jump and go, and don't even go run, because honestly, it just takes one foot in front of the other, and somehow things come to you and things start aligning so you could just continue growing and evolving. It's not going to be perfect at the beginning. It was not perfect for us.
No.
But you need that process to grow and evolve as a business woman, as a human itself. And that is what we're here for, right? Just to continue learning and growing and expanding and making community and connections. So that's my advice. If they're just starting, don't even think about it. Just go run with your idea.
I would just do it even if you're scared, because I mean,
Mm.
like it was planted in you for a reason. Like, so
If the universe gave you that seed, it's because it's meant for it to grow.
Yeah, so just go
Yeah.
for it and do it. Like, you know, I know there was moments that we had self-doubt, that we were scared. We're like, how are we gonna do this? But you managed to figure it out. And I think that's what entrepreneurship is, like figuring one thing at a time and coming out stronger on the other side, Rocio, and just
it ultimately builds confidence
and character in you and in the business.
And if women see that, other women are like, I dare to take up space. I could do it. If she's doing it, what's the difference? I could do it myself. And it's a domino effect. And that's what we want, right? Just to be an example, hopefully, for another woman that could just go out there and do it.
And I always go, if she did it, then it's possible for me to do it.
And if she walks through that door, she's bringing the rest of us, hopefully, with her. And we break the ceiling. Yes.
I love it. I love it. So anyone that's listening out there and you have thinking about what are those words of wisdom, these girls have got it. Just start. Don't overthink it. And you can always evolve, right? I feel like your business and yourself through this journey is a process of transformation, is a process of growth for yourself and your business. And so this is what I'm hearing you say is like, just run, just go do it. And it's amazing what beautiful things come of it once you just let go of that initial fear that's holding you back.
100%.
100%. You said it better.
No, I'm just summarizing all what you already said, which so thank you for that. And we're winding down our time here, our interview, and this has been really lovely. But I definitely want to leave space and make space for anything that else that you want to share with listeners that maybe we didn't get to chat about today, which also includes this is a good time to plug in your business or invite people to support you. So I'll give you the floor again for the last kind of your closing statement, I'll say, for the interview. What would you like to share with the group or with the audience?
For the women that are taking the time to listen to our story, if you could take away anything from this interview, we came here and we did our job, but you could always find us at littleladybee.com
Underscore little.
Well, that's the website. She really interrupted me. Or if you want to follow us on social media, it's underscore little lady bee. And you can find more of our designs and what we're up to or where we're going to be next in our social media.
Yes. And you can always subscribe to our newsletter, like through our website. But we do have one special treat for our listeners today. Do you want to share with us?
You share, because you surprised us. So I'll let you have
So for our beautiful women and gentlemen listening, we have 20% off. All you have to put in the promo code is Bellas, and automatically you'll receive 20% off your first order.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. That is so. You all take advantage of this promo now. I think you'll definitely want to keep shopping even after the promo is over. There's so many beautiful designs. And again, more than anything, just your beautiful self, your beautiful souls. Thank you so much for sharing your story with the world and for just your honesty and your spirit and your energy has been really contagious and very inspiring. So I want to thank you from the bottom of our heart here representing Bella. Thank you for allowing this time to share your story.
Well, no, thank you, Rocio, for having us. It was really, really an honor. And thank you for making it seem so comfortable and cozy with it.
Yes, and letting us just use our voice, Rocio. We don't get many chances. We don't take up a lot of chances to use our voice. So
that's changing, Rocio. That's definitely changing.
So thank you so much for having us, Rocio.
That's great. Thank you so much again. And everyone out there, make sure you go out and support Little Lady B. Thank you for listening to our interview, and we will see you next time. Adios.